All right, today we're diving into something really critical, Nigeria's looming food crisis. We're going to be drawing from a recent expert roundtable to unpack the huge challenges the nation's farmers are up against. But more importantly, we'll dig into the innovative, community-driven solutions that could actually turn this whole thing around.
To really get a handle on what's at stake here, we need to start with just a single, pretty sobering number. It's a projection that has sent some serious shockwaves through the agricultural community. 35 million. I mean, just let that number sink in for a second. It's a number so big, it's kind of hard to even wrap your head around it, but it represents a potential human catastrophe on a massive scale.
So what is this number? Well, it's the World Food Program's projection for how many people in Nigeria will face severe food insecurity. This isn't just another statistic. 35 million people would be the highest figure ever recorded in Nigeria's history. Ever. That's a huge red flag that demands we pay close attention right now.
So the big question is, how did we even get here? To figure that out, we've got to zoom in from that big national forecast and get down to the ground level. We need to understand the immense pressures facing just a single farmer every single day.
Well, according to community commentator Mbode Muta, the #1 hurdle is insecurity. He puts it perfectly. There are abundant places that people are scared of using. Think about that. You've got all this fertile land just sitting there, but farmers are too afraid to use it. So what happens? Everyone gets crowded into the few areas that are considered safe, which creates this intense competition for land before a single seed even goes in the ground.
And that creates this devastating economic trap. For so many farmers, the basic math of their business just doesn't add up anymore. Picture this. The money they get from selling a whole bag of their harvested maize is now less than what it cost them to buy just one single bag of fertilizer. How can you possibly keep going? You sell your entire product, and you still can't afford the most basic input for your next crop. It's an absolutely vicious cycle.
And look, this isn't just one problem. It's more like a perfect storm. Farmers are getting slammed from all sides, right? You've got the insecurity pushing them off their land. You've got those insane soaring costs for things like fertilizer. Then you've got crippling inflation eating away at everything, and sky-high fuel prices just to get whatever they do manage to grow to the market.
But here's the thing. In the face of these completely overwhelming odds, Nigerian farmers are not just sitting back and waiting for disaster. No way. They are organizing. They're finding incredible power by working together and are actually building a path forward.
I mean, if you're a small-scale farmer and you feel powerless against these massive forces, what can you actually do? Well, the answer, according to the experts, lies in a very old but very powerful idea.
And that idea is the cooperative society. Now, this isn't just, an informal group of people getting together. This is a formal business structure, and it's owned and controlled democratically by the members themselves. It's basically a way to turn individual vulnerability into a collective superpower.
And the advantage is crystal clear. It all starts with pooling resources, putting your money and assets together to buy the kind of equipment that no single farmer could ever afford on their own. That leads to achieving common goals, like getting way better access to markets and having real bargaining power on prices. And critically, a formal cooperative gives them one unified voice to actually advocate for government support, for grants, and for real policy changes.
But it's not just about getting organized. Farmers are also adopting entirely new ways of thinking. And they're even finding opportunities in places that, at first glance, might just look like another problem.
Take, for example, a new government tax law. Now, when this was first announced, you can imagine the concern. People thought, oh great, another financial burden, one that would just drive up production costs and make a bad situation even worse.
But if you take a closer look at the law, the reality is something else entirely. It was actually designed with specific, powerful protections for the most vulnerable farmers baked right in.
Let's break it down. First, there's a new 0% tax bracket. So if you earn 800,000 naira or less a year, you get immediate relief. But even more powerful is this. All registered agricultural businesses get a 5-year total tax exemption. 5 years. That creates a critical window for them to reinvest every single naira of profit back into their operations to build up capital and really grow.
This forward thinking also extends to what's being farmed. Experts are pushing for a strategic shift, not just to climate-smart crops, but also into high-value, smaller-scale livestock like piggery and rabbitry. They're also promoting these incredibly profitable backyard ventures, like farming snails and mushrooms, which don't need a lot of land. And all of this is being supported by modern technology to improve soil health and get the most out of every harvest.
So when you put it all together,
the cooperatives, the smart use of these new laws, the innovative farming techniques, it all points to one central, unifying idea.
And this quote from Prince Amos, the president of a National Farmers Cooperative Society, just says it all. The funding, the grants, the support, it's out there, but it can't flow to scattered individuals. It flows to structures. The core message from the experts is that farmers have to get organized first, form a proper structure, and show they're ready and willing to work. Readiness is everything.
Which leaves us with this one final thought. The threat of a food crisis is real, and it is immense. But the response that's coming from the ground up, built on community, cooperation, and innovation, is just as powerful. So, with all that in mind, the question really is, can Nigeria turn this looming crisis into a national opportunity for a total agricultural transformation?